Question I get asked by a lot of people. Why did I leave Islam? At what point did I decide that it's over? The answer is not very simple, as there was no single moment when my belief on Islam and later God in general eradicated. I was born in Lahore, Pakistan, in a Muslim household. My whole family is still Muslim and they love their religion. But I was a little different. I had questions. Questions when, as a kid, I asked other kids who didn't know, nor they had any interest. I remember around the age of 9 or 10, I asked my mother once, "Who created everything?" She said, "Allah did." Then I said, "Who created Allah?" She had no answer. My mother, despite my atheism, still loves me and did not want me to make this video. She could not convince me why I shouldn't make it. Someone will kill you is not a good enough reason. I still grew up as a Muslim, went to the mosque for the Jummah prayers, read Quran in Arabic as per the tradition, but a lot of things still didn't make any sense. Growing up in Pakistan in the 90s, internet was still new and answers were not around, so it was frustrating. There came a point in my life when "God did it" no longer makes sense to me. To understand the validity of Islam or any other religion, I set a criterion. Is there any evidence in favor of Allah? Is the morality depicted in Islam good? Is the science in Islam correct? I started asking questions around these three main ones. I will be dishonest if I said that I could do this all by myself. Books like The God Delusion helped me a lot to understand the other side of the argument. I wouldn't have time to discuss each and every question in detail, but I do intend to do so in the future. These three questions led me away from Islam. But what about other gods? Gods of Hinduism, Christian God, Jewish God, Roman gods, Greek gods, or 1,000 other gods that people have died worshipping. After all, they would all claim that their religion passes the all three questions that are raised above. I could not study every religion in as much detail as Islam, so I could question the character of God in general and dismiss all other mythological gods. Why is the creator of billions of galaxies so obsessed with what we tiny humans do in our private lives? He gets angry if we sleep with someone of our own gender. He gets angry if we not have some ceremony before we sleep with someone. If we do not worship him, he gets so angry that he will torture his own creation in hell for eternity. What is so special about worshipping? The creator of billions and billions of galaxies has an ego of a child. If I tell a child that he cannot have that chocolate, then he starts screaming and crying until he gets his own way. This is very similar to all the man-made gods. Worship me or I will burn you in hell forever. Why does this God who wants us to believe in him so badly shows no evidence of his existence? He can reveal himself right now in front of the White House and end all wars. He can show up today and say, "Hey, this is who I am, this is what my name is, and I want you to do this and this." End of story. But he wants to hide himself, and then he wants to blame his creation for not believing in him. Muslims and apologists of other faiths say, well, our God sent his message thousands of years ago. Which begs another question. Why did Abrahamic God send all the messages to this tiny part of the Middle East? What about people who did not get his message on the other side of the planet, say Australia or Americas? They did not know about Muhammad or any other Middle Eastern god until they were discovered in the 15th century and later. Just imagine all the millions of people who were born and died in that time in those continents. They are all going to burn in hell simply because they accidentally were born in a wrong geographical area. Muslims claim that their previous scriptures like Torah and Bible were contaminated by humans. Didn't the creator of everything know that if he sends Jesus and Moses, their message will be contaminated? If he knew, then what is the fault of all the Jews and Christians that were born after the Bible and Torah was contaminated? They lived and died believing in the Bible, but it was the incorrect one. Muslims love to say the Quran is not contaminated. I think it is worse than contamination. After all, every sect of Islam has their own interpretation. Sunnis say they are right, while Shias are the correct ones. This means the Quran is either easy to be misunderstood, or it is simply not a good writing. There are verses in Quran that are easily misunderstood. To this day, Muslims loosely quote verses like this as the evidence of the Big Bang. Do those who are disbelievers not see that heavens and earth were sewn together, and then we unstitched them, and that we made from water every living thing? So will they not have faith? Surah Anbiya. I will not go into detail as to how unscientific this verse is, as I will dedicate a whole video on that. But this begs a philosophical question. If these verses were scientifically correct, then how come no Muslim ever came up with these theories? Again, it means either it is not written properly, so it's easily misunderstood, or there is no Big Bang mentioned in the verse. I stick with the latter. And the prayer. Every religious person thinks he or she has a special hotline to their God. When they get something, they think it's because of the prayer. If they don't get it, then they think that maybe Allah didn't want it. 1.5 billion Muslims pray to Allah every day. But what about other 5.5 billion people? They are obviously praying to the wrong God. How can they live their lives perfectly well? They also think that sometimes their prayers get answered and sometimes not. Clearly, there's something wrong here. Let's do an experiment. If you want something, don't do anything. Just pray to Allah and see if you get that or not. On the other hand, if you want the same thing, don't pray to Allah and just work hard to get it. See if it works. Obviously, it works for 5.5 billion other people on earth. Muslims will say, well, you still have to work hard, but you have to pray as well. If you have to work hard to get something, then what is the point of praying? Lastly, people ask me, why don't you keep your atheistic views to yourself? The answer is very simple. I live a free life, free of any hell fear or any other baggage that comes with religion. I enjoy my life and it's great to be alive. I can drink alcohol. I don't have to hate homosexuals. I don't have to think that women are subservient to men. I don't have to believe that women are inferior to men. I don't have to hate certain animals. I can enjoy music. I don't have to hate people of other religions. I can enjoy the paintings and other works of art. All this baggage goes away if you become an atheist, and the world starts becoming a better place without this baggage. So people like me like to spread the message and these counter arguments. By the way, why do Muslims think that they can preach their belief to others, but others can't? If your answer is that, well, we are right, then I'm sorry to say, you are wrong. My name is Sultan, and I don't believe in your gods.